Whenever you feel something about someone, that's 100% right, or 100% right. If you feel, you don't even have to speak to the person. You feel it in your soul. Something is not okay. It's not okay. It's not. Hi guys, welcome to my life, my world, my everything. Welcome to Tasha Reacts. Welcome to Tasha React. I hope everybody's doing well, be doing good in the hood. I know. I have not been here. Okay? Hi, my name is Tasha. Okay, let me properly introduce myself. Hi, my name is Tasha. I do have another channel called Tachassociety where I do makeup, hair, everything beauty. And I do have another channel called Tasha Jean where I do story times, okay? I want to say thank you for all you guys who have subscribed to me. Thank you so much. Here's my disclaimer. If the person comes up to me and say, hey girl, you don't have the right to share my video, I will take it down. Because I don't care. It feels so good to be back. I'm going back. So let's do this story time. I'll do this one. I'll do a part 1 and then I'll do part 2. Hopefully. Okay, I'll be really good with the part 2. Okay, let's go.
Let me tell y'all how I spent 32 long, dreadful, painful, just unbearable days in jail for a crime that I did not commit. Yes, you heard me. 32 days. In Fulton County, Rice Street to be exact. Jail. Okay? Let's get into it. So I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. West side of Atlanta, born and raised on Simpson Road. If you're familiar with Atlanta, then you know Simpson Road, okay? Stayed there from a child all the way up until I was 15 years old. Okay, at the age of 15, I found out I was pregnant with my oldest son, Noonan. Okay, so when my mom learned that I was expecting a child, she did what any mother would do, you know, besides wanting to me. She jumped into mommy mode and started making, you know, better living arrangements for us because obviously our family was expanding. Now, I come from a large family anyway. I am the third oldest of 13 siblings. Yes, my mom has 13 kids and I'm the third oldest.
13. Girl. That's the real OGs. Because back in the days, I think my grandfather had 27, right? Girl, that's the real OGs. And your mom, I respect that because a lot of parents would just kick you out. You know what I'm saying? At least your mother, like, took you in. You know, she probably was disappointed, of course, but, you know, a lot of parents would just get mad and just drop you, you know? So, for her to just, like, rearrange her living arrangements to make sure you and your kids comfortable, I respect her.
The third oldest. So, the house was already packed, right? We're already at capacity. And on top of that, we're just in a 2-bedroom. Okay? So, you got boys in one room, girls in the other room, my mama up front in the living room, and my stepdaddy in the room with the boys. So we were already in there packed, right? So we was gonna.
What apartment y'all live in? Because my apartment, they be checking me every day. And I don't even live in, like, you know, when people be like subsidized, Section 8. No, I don't live in none of that. I live in a real apartment. But my apartment always want to do some type of inspection. They all want to pop up. They always want to fix something. Baby, what apartment you live in? Because, baby, knowing you live in a 2-bedroom and they ain't kick you out, where y'all live? Because, baby, my apartment stay inspection. Oh, we're just checking if the lights have light bulbs. Like, baby.
So we was going to eventually have to move anyway. But again, with her finding out that I was expecting my first child, it just expedited the situation. Okay, so again, I have no say-so. As I'm 15, no job, still in school, teenage mom to be. I have no say-so as to where we going, okay? And so with that being said, my mom just went and put in applications. And I guess with the first people to call her back just so happens to be these projects that was located off Bankhead called Bowen Homes, a.k.a. The Bricks. Okay, once again, if you from Atlanta, you already know what's going on, what went down over there, what it was like. And if you not from Atlanta, you probably have heard about Bowen Home in songs from people like Shawty Low, because that's where he was from. He always ripped Bankhead, always ripped Born Home. And a few more other artists that came from Atlanta, again, that would, bring recognition to Born Homes. Well, my first time going to Born Homes, outside of us moving out there in 2007, was back when I was in the 4th grade. I had met a friend in school, and she lived there. And on the weekends, my mom would let me go over her house, to the sleepovers. And so,
what's up with you guys with y'all moms letting y'all sleep over? My mom would never. I could never sleep over no one else. Everyone I watch is like, my mom used to let me sleep over. Maybe it's just me. I was not allowed to sleep over. It was barely allowed to go to people's houses to visit. Barely. Like, everybody have a sleepover. Maybe that's why I'm so bally. Because everybody be sleeping over, chilling with their friends. I can't do nothing. My mom, even if I said, what? My mom would have smacked me, like, sleep who? Where you sleeping? Who you sleeping with? Like, maybe it would become, and then she'll tell me some story about somebody from her church who had slept over, and then they end up getting RAPED'd, and then they die, and they this, like, girl, my mom would go laugh, like, child.
So I would just visit that. So I was about 10 years old at this time. And I would just hear stories from that friend about, how, the fun that they had over there, the not so fun things and stuff like that. And so it was when I got to middle school, when I met, some more friends outside of the friend from elementary school. And they were also, too, from Born Home. And so they would tell, these stories about, the crime that was going on out there, the rats, the roaches. But again, they made it seem so fun. So I started, the friend that I made in middle school, me and her became best friends. And so I started going over her house from, time to time. And it was there, just being over there, I seen a different side of those projects that those stories wasn't just, it wasn't telling it. You had to just be there. You had to be there in, the actual physical form to just see what was going on. And so it was no place I would even imagine myself ever living. Again, I lived on Simpson Road, grew up there. Simpson Road is not the projects, it's the hood. Born Homes was the project. It was government ran and funded. So that was the difference, right? But nevertheless, it was what it was. Again, I had no say so. I just had to go with the flow. So we packed up and we moved off of from Simpson Road in June of 2002, and we moved to Born Home. Well, again, lo and behold, it did not disappoint. It lived it up to every expectation that I thought it would be, which was crime infested, ghetto. It was just an unpleasant place. My personal experience. Number one, I didn't want to be out there. I had went to school with a lot of people that already had stayed out there. And so we would just do like this rivalry at school. Cause, back in the 90s, early 2000s, if you beefed, it was like what zone you was from. Zone 1 beef was zone 3. Zone 3 beef was zone 4. Zone 4 beef was zone 6. You would rep your hoods. It was that type of thing. So we would have little rivalries and things like that in school. Everybody knew that I was from Simpson Road, me and my family, and some more people was from Simpson Road. So we'll do a little trash talk with people from different hoods like Born Home, Perry Home, Bankhead Court, Hollywood Court, Elton Ridge. We even had a few people from Greater Home, Herndon Home, Harry Home, Capitol Home. You name it. It was just little friendly, some fights here and there, but nothing too crazy. So I definitely was a little bit embarrassed to be one of those people moving out there after I had just, I did all this trash talking, with these same people, at school. But it was nothing crazy. Of course, when I moved out there, they welcomed me with open arms. My friend that I was best friends with at the time, I moved directly in the building behind her. So, I had somebody's house I can walk up to and, walk over and see. But, so again, like I said, I'm about 5 months pregnant at this time, and it is hot now. About the projects, there are no central air and there's no central heat. So it is, when in the summertime, when it's hot, and when the wintertime it's cold, because those bricks, that cement, conserve all the heat and air. So we had box fans in the window. We wasn't a family that...
Oh, I remember those days, the box fans. Baby, I remember those days, baby. We wasn't allowed to open AC. Heat. I think my mom will open the AC. I think it's rare, but the heat, for my mom to open the heat, it had to be really, really, really cold. Like really, 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 really cold, baby. Like, yo, those are the days, child.
Was born with silver spoon. My stepdaddy was the primary breadwinner. He was the only one that was working in the household at the time. And back in, the early 2000s, he wasn't making a whole lot of money. Wages wasn't what they are today. So he made enough to kind of carry the family, through, but we had to make do with whatever else, that we had. So when we got to Born Homes, my mom bought box fans for all the windows upstairs. We had one central, I'm sorry, not central, but we had one AC unit downstairs, and that was for the downstairs. It was to cool the downstairs. So, I just remember my summer over there, my first summer over there in Born Homes, just being hot and miserable. And then on top of that, I'm pregnant. So my attitude was on. I hated.
Girl, I already know. Having a summer, like being pregnant in the summer, oh my God, baby. You might as well just jump off a cliff. Like, baby, it is miserable. Especially like me. I had really good pregnancies with both my kids. But baby, I used to like to walk, especially with my daughter, back and forth like a crazy person. Child. It was like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it just makes you angry. It's like, it's hot, I'm pregnant. And anything anybody says is just like, makes you just mad.
I don't want to be here. I wish we would have never moved over here. I just was not for it at all. And, to my, not so surprising that within 2 months of us staying over there, I'm in the bed, sleep. It was at night. Don't recall what time. I just hear a whole bunch of gunfire go off. Sounded like a marching band. It was right up under my... It really sounded like it was in my ear. That's how close it was. And I remember just balling up in the fetal position, holding my stomach. After the gunfire stopped, I remember getting up, looking out the window, and, they had patios over there in Born Homes. So I couldn't see anything that was outside of the patio. When I looked out my room window, I only could see inside the patio. But I heard voices, I heard people talking, and I started to hear screams, and I started to hear people yell, saying, call 911, call 911. So I make my way downstairs, and I open up our front door. We had a door, and we had a screen door. Well, when I opened up the front door, through the screen door, I could see a body that appears to be of a male laying right in the front of our door. Like, if I would have opened up the screen door and took a few steps, I would have been right there standing over him. And again, I just hear his loved one screaming, call 911, call 911. I run upstairs. I, tell my mom, which everybody heard the gunshot. So I tell him, like, hey, it's, somebody laying out front. I think he's, unalive. Like, I don't know, call 911, and just so happened, sadly, that person did, pass away from their injuries. So that was like the first wake up call.
Oh, girl. The way my coward self would, I think I would pass with him. Maybe for me to see a body in front of me, like, I know that a lot of people have that experience, but I think God knows, like, I ain't gonna do that to her. Because I had people who said one time they drove by and they just seen a body on the floor, and they just kept driving like nothing happened. The cops came, and it's like, what? That's so crazy. That's so crazy. That's a lot of people's reality. That's so crazy.
So a call that I had, being out there within 2 months, like, I knew this was a bad idea. That's why I did not want to move out here. But again, like I said, I'm young. I don't have a job. I'm a teenage mom to be. I don't have a say so as to where we going, and that I just gotta live with it and deal with it. And listen, did I not? So my mama, tried to make the best of it. Again, my stepdad was the primary breadwinner of the family. He worked, earned most of the income. My mama tried to, step in by becoming the candy lady. Okay, so she started selling candy out there, or whatever the case may be. And of course, it's the projects, it's the hood. So quickly, and it was a candy lady literally in every, cul-de-sac. I guess you can call it a cul-de-sac. But my mom was she was the only candy lady right where we was. And so it would be a lot of traffic. But we got cool with the neighbors to the left of us. And they, she was cool. Her children, her boyfriend at the time was super cool. And the ones to the right, I don't know. It was one of them that was a little strange. And I knew he was strange for a reason, not just because of how he would stare at me and others. It was just he had this sneaky presence about himself.
Whenever you feel something about someone, that's 100% right, or 100% right. If you feel, you don't even have to speak to the person. You feel it in your soul. Something is not okay. It's not okay. It's not. Is that greeting, girl? I was eating. Don't worry about it. It's not. If you feel it in your heart, that's God saying, stranger danger, save yourself.
Presence about himself. And my suspicions pan out to be exactly right about him, because he ended up robbing us blind. When I say blind, he robbed us while we were in the house sleep. I was pregnant. My mom had just found out she was pregnant, and my 65 at the time year old grandma who was living. He robbed us while we was in the house. Okay, so let me finish telling y'all on how I spent 32 long, painful, dreadful, disgusting days in jail for a crime that I did not commit. So on part 1, I left off on telling y'all about that next door neighbor to the right, the one who gave me those sneaky vibes, the one who I just couldn't, something about him I couldn't put my finger on. And I told y'all that he ended up robbing us like a thief in the night, in the middle of the night while we were sleeping. He did just that. Let me tell you what he did. So again, my mom was a candy lady, right? So she sold things like candy, juices, drinks, chips, you name it, whatever. So he was a customer, and he would come frequently throughout the day or whatever, buying little.
You see? And the thing about it is, he knew what he was doing. So that's why he became a customer, so he could watch the scene. Why you can't just let people be successful? Why you have to be a hater? Why you can't just buy your own candy and become a candy man yourself too? Why can't you just upgrade yourself? Like, you see, like, honestly, like, you know, when you're living in the hood or the project, we all struggling together. Like, I just feel like I just don't, you know, I don't get it.
Snacks and things like that. Well, you know, lo and behold, we didn't know that he was, you know, peeping the scene. So he was coming in, and then we in the projects. We don't have no more than what the next person got. We just might have had a little bit more materialistic things. Because again, my stepfather, he worked. He provided. So no matter what we stayed or what we was going through, we never looked like what we were going through. So, you know, we moved to the projects, and we had things like, you know, the newest Expedition truck. Granted, we had to have a big SUV. Again, like I told y'all, my mom had a lot of kids. I had a lot of siblings. So we had the, nice cars, and then my stepdad was into old school cars. So he had a nice Caprice, they called it the bubble Caprice. He had a nice bubble Caprice, rims on there, things like that. So, and we had like the Xbox. We had like the PlayStation. I think at the time maybe it was PlayStation 2 or 3. I don't know. But again, we had nice things. We didn't have a lot of money. We just had nice things. So he would come in and he would buy things again. And at that time, we're not even realizing he peeping out the scene. Well, this particular weekend when he robbed us blind, my stepdad, along with the rest of my siblings, had went to the Carolinas. Myself, along with my mom and my great grandma at the time who was living, stayed back. And so he came earlier that day, purchased some snacks or whatever the case may be. And I think it was then where he started to put 2 and 2 together to kind of realize, okay, they here by themselves. Because normally when people will come by to buy candy or whatever, you will see a house full of people, like my siblings, running every which way or whatever. So, and also too, the family car was gone. The Expedition, the truck was gone. So it wasn't.
That's so crazy. That's what I always tell people I have a man. Like, my man live with me. Well, now that sound bad. Now they gonna rob me. They be like, this bitch, she's just told on herself. Well, the way my neighborhood is, child, you can't. My neighbors are my men. Baby. The way they know. Someone came knocking on the door. Do you know who it is? Oh, baby, I was just checking. Oh, there was a guy that passed by. Do you know who he is? Oh, okay, baby. I was just checking, baby. You can't do nothing here. Okay? My neighbors are gang for all of us. We are gang for each other. And you can't come in here anyways. But, baby.
Was gone. So it didn't take a rocket science to figure out that, okay, the car that normally be here every day ain't here. I go in there, I buy some candy, whatever. You only see the pregnant girl, the mama, and the grandma, the old lady. So everything after that, I cannot tell y'all truly what happened from the time he stepped foot in the house to rob us from the time he left out and I woke up the next day. And I'm going to tell you why I can't tell you guys, because I was asleep. I don't know if that was one of those pregnancy sleeps where I was just knocked out cold. I didn't hear anything or see anything. And if I could just draw a layout of my room to you guys, it'll be kind of hard to believe me as to, for me to say I didn't hear or see anything, because the way you come up the steps, my room would be to the left. I see directly so the way my room was facing and the way I had my bed set up, I could see everything coming up those steps. And right in the middle was there is like a closet or whatever, or just a big open space where you can store things. Well, that's what he did. So he came up the stairs. Okay, he got all the stuff downstairs, the PlayStation, the Xbox, of course, all of the games to go with the PlayStation.
How you know it was him, though? I'm just asking. I know you're probably going to explain it, but I was going to ask. Because I just came in my brain. How you know it was him? Did y'all have, cameras? How did you know? I'll be asking questions. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to know. Because I just think about it. I said, how do y'all know it was him? Because if nobody seen him, you was asleep. How did y'all know?
The Xbox. He even stole candy. Of course, a thief is a thief. They'll steal the drawers off you if they could. And a television. I mean, he wiped downstairs clean. Well, my boy was so bold, he went upstairs to look for the boxes that the Xbox and the PlayStation came in, which just so happens to be in that closet that sat alongside of my room. And he got that. So you would think that I would have heard him when he came up those steps and went in that closet, but I didn't. I was not back.
I wonder, has he ever been in your house before? Does he know anybody that's in your house? Because he's, too brave. Thieves usually be like, all right, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take that, because they've never been there. But it seems like he's already strategically knowing where everything is. Who would know that there's a box for the Xbox? You know what I'm saying? Because I throw everything away. I don't save boxes for nothing. I throw my boxes away. So how would he know? Did someone tell him? Or is he cool with somebody? Or has he been in there before and y'all didn't know? Maybe. I got so many questions.
I think my grandma at the time, it had been so many years ago, but I think she slept with her room door closed, so she would have not have heard him. Not easily, at least. And as well as my mom. Again, me and my mom, we both carrying at the time. We both expecting. So we probably just was, dog tired. Nevertheless.
Hold on, I missed that part. Your mom pregnant again? She have another one? You says you have sister, brother and sister. Your mother have another one? Wow. Wow. I missed that part, huh? I must have missed that, because she's only 15, so her mom probably was still fairly young, but dang. Yeah, I respect your mother. I respect, because after 2, I'm finished. I said 2. But, it was different, too, back in the days. I feel like you could have mad kids and have a good life. Because low-key, especially if you live, in a community, the community helped you. And she had her grandmother and her grandparents. Our grandparents don't help kids now. You do everything.
I wake up the next day, and I go downstairs for whatever reason, and I notice, first thing I notice is gone is the TV. And then I kind of look around. I see the candy over there, that area where the candy was. That's rummaged through. I see the PlayStation gone. I see the Xbox gone. And I turn around and I run, kind of sprint back upstairs. And I'm like, Mom, I think somebody broke in the house. I'm telling her, TV gone, all these things gone. Sure enough, my mama come downstairs. She looked, she verified. Yes, of course, my eyes not playing tricks on me. These things are truly, really gone. So, with my stepdad and the rest of the family being in the Carolinas, we placed the call, let them know. We also, too, called the police, to do a report or whatever the case may be. They was, I mean, this at the time the crime was so high over there, they wasn't surprised. It was surprising to us because we wasn't used to this, you know what I'm saying? This was the first time anybody had ever broke in, and let alone while we were still in, while we were inside the home. But nevertheless, they took the report. They even offered to do fingerprints, to dust for some fingerprints, because he left a lot of fingerprints. He touched some areas, and you could tell where he left fingerprints. Well, it didn't take us long to figure out or to even suspect that it was him, because again, he was already known around the neighborhood. They was talking, that.
Okay, well that explains it. Cause I'm like, how you know you do that? How you guys know that? Because how y'all know? But I guess he's known as the common thief, baby. That's so crazy. Like, you have such a reputation that everybody knows you're a thief.
Saying that he is a person that breaks in people's houses and breaks in people's cars. So he truly was like suspect number one. But it was just the fact that he was just there that day to buy some candy or whatever the case may be. And he was asking specific questions about the PlayStation. He was like, what kind of games y'all got for this, that? So it was almost like 1 + 1 was equaling 2. But you didn't have true proof that it was him. It was just our gut feeling said that it was him. We just speculated that it was truly him. And then he started acting suspicious out there. He was already, creepy and weird, to say the least. But he just started acting a little bit more suspicious, pacing up and down the sidewalk. He went from speaking to now you're no longer speaking, side-eyeing, that type of thing. So by the time my stepdad returned back from the Carolinas, he went to go confront him as a man would, as a man should. Man to man, like, hey, did you break in our house? Did you take these items? Of course, he denied everything, said it wasn't him, so forth and so on. But because we didn't have true solid proof, we had to move on. It was just like, but we knew deep down inside, we knew that it was him who did it. And just the fact that you would come in there while these vulnerable women, again, I'm pregnant with my son, my mom's pregnant, and my 65-year-old grandma. And when you walk, all I could think about was the fact that he walked up those stairs. And I would sleep back then I used to sleep with my room door open. That when he walked up them stairs and he seen me sleep right there, like, it didn't, I guess, alert him to turn back around, like maybe she'll hear me, maybe she'll.
Nah, this is his job, baby. He's a criminal. He knows what he's doing. But thank God you didn't wake up, because sometimes, the person will see you and then you react, and they have a weapon, they react. You know what I'm saying? So I think everything happened for a reason. But he's a criminal. He don't care. He's willing to lose it all because he don't care,
Maybe she'll see me, she'll wake up. No, he proceeded to go in that closet or in that middle hallway and get those boxes to these things that he was stealing, and didn't give a damn. And Lord, and I thank God that I didn't wake up, because who's to say what he would have done to me, my mom, or my grandma if we would have woke up. It was probably best that we didn't. But that just sent me over the moon. Like, I was like, the fact that we got robbed by our neighbor while we were in here sleeping, it just basically told me, like, listen, this a different type of level for you guys. Like, y'all ain't used to living like this. Like, we come from a place of, hard knock, but this is a different type of hard knock life. So, that was that. So, but it gets crazier with him. But I paused with him, and then I pick back up. But my auntie, which is my mom's only sister, she heard about what went on and things like that. And she, being the great auntie that she is, an amazing big sister that she was. I'm sorry, she's a little sister. Amazing sister that she is. My auntie, she goes and buy everything over. She buys a new.
That's nice. That's something that my sister would do too. Like, if my sister had the money, she would do it. That's the same thing I would do. Like, my sister got robbed, and knowing the kids, I would buy everything for them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, dang, I already know you're struggling and you have all these children. You know what I'm saying? These are my nieces, my nephews. And that doesn't happen often now. Like, I don't know, everybody's here to just eat and they want to see you suffer. Like, that's a person that her sister should have loyalty to. Even if her sister acts crazy and they fighting, that's the person you always have loyalty to. You feel me?
PlayStation, she buys a new Xbox. She even bought a home security alarm system. We probably was the only ones in the project with like a home security system. But she buys all these things, and it was like the next day. So for them to see, to know that, oh, their house was the one, and when I say they, I mean in the neighbors, because it was a talk around, the area, like, oh yeah, their house got broken into, and then for them to see these same items being towed right back into the house within 24 hours later, a lot of people was probably like, But so that is what I feel like started the just hate train with us. Part 3 coming soon. Hey y'all, I am back with story time. How I spent 32 days in jail for a crime I did not commit. Part 3. The hate train has arrived to the station. So as a lot of you all may know, I left off on part 2 telling y'all about the burglar, aka Sticky Finger Bandit, aka Thief in the Night, aka Next Door Neighbor.
I'm mad she got so much aka. Girl, I already know where this is going. Baby, people don't like to see people be happy. People don't like happiness. They will pretend they like you. Oh yeah, thank God, yeah, it is. But when they see that God just keep blessing you and keep blessing you, especially if they're stuck in a level, baby, I already know where this is going.
Right? And you remember I told y'all how he broke into our home while myself, my mom, and my grandma was sleeping and robbed us of a lot of things. Electronics, candy, cleaning supplies, you name it. My boy came in and wiped us clean. And as I stated in my last video, my stepfather, along with my other siblings who lived in the home with us, was away on a trip in the Carolinas. And so when my stepfather returned home, he approached, the thief and asked him, was he the one that burglarized our home? He denied it, and that was that. Okay, so fast forward. I've given birth to my oldest son, Noonie. I am now pregnant with my middle son, Dre. So by the time I went on my 6-week checkup...
Wait a minute. I'm not judging. I don't judge people, okay? But you confuse me. I don't judge anybody. I tell people all the time, who am I to judge you? Because, baby, you don't know. Baby, you could be that person who have 16 and pregnant and be the president of the United States. Baby, who am I to judge you? I am not God. Only God can judge me, as Tupac said. But a sister, my friend, baby, what happened? She said, I'm pregnant with my second. I said, wait. Friend. Come on. But hey, I ain't judging you, child, because sometimes things happen. It happen. Who am I to judge you? Who am I? Because who am I?
So after I had Noonie, I was finding out I was pregnant again with Dre. So at this point, I don't know if I'm coming or going. There's a lot going on, and I'm still in school. I'm in my junior year at this time. So my mom is she is a nervous wreck at this point. She's like, girl, again. But my mom being the trooper that she is, being my rock, my backbone, always have been. She didn't judge, she just said, hey, Nene, we're going to figure this out.
So, you got a good mama. I like mama. I love hearing good mothers because that's so rare. Because you got to understand, kids are trying to figure out themselves too. You know what I'm saying? Some kids get it right. Some kids have to go through the hard times in life to understand. So, you being a mother and still sticking by her after she had to, let that be my mother. Baby, I had one baby, nigga. I was banned. Everybody in the family was like, Cashapp, baby. I was 19 when I got pregnant with a dad. Not in 20, I was 20. Everybody, I was banned. I was the talk. Tasha. Yo, my name is like a bad word in my family. Tasha. Oh, Tasha again. Tasha. Oh, Tasha. Oh, my God.
So, the summertime is approaching. Now we're in 2003, right? I'm preparing to have Dre in fall. And their father, who, my high school sweetheart, we decided to, move. He had just graduated from high school. And so he found us an apartment on the south side. And we ended up roommating with one of his friends. The roommate situation, ideal setup, seemed, nice because, the roommate who the boy's father was friends with, He also too, he was married, and she already had a son that was 2 years old. So Nuna was one, and I was pregnant with Dre. She was also pregnant with a child. So the setup kind of was like, okay, coincide, like it was perfect. So we moved in over there. The first couple of weeks started off decent, but little did we know we was moving in with the roommates from hell, and not more so of the wife. It was the guy, the boy's daddy friend. He was a hot mess. He was extremely abusive to his wife. Like he would physically beat her. I would be me and Drew, and at the time I hadn't gave birth to Andre yet. It was just Noonan. We'll be in the other room, and they're trying to watch TV or anything, and we just hear her screaming and hollering. You hear things flying across.
Yo, that'd be the most uncomfortable thing. Like, I've been around people that has been really abusive. Like I've been, I feel like there's levels to domestic violence, like the little arguing to push it. I know that it's never acceptable, but when somebody is just so abusive that the person becomes so weak, and you just feel so helpless because that person, you want to help, but the person is not helping themselves. That's so uncomfortable.
Beat her. I would be me and Drew, and at the time I hadn't gave birth to Andre yet. It was just Noonan. We'll be in the other room, and they're trying to watch TV or anything, and we just hear her screaming and hollering. You hear things
And that's sad for her son, because now he gonna have trauma. That's trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a kid, even though it's not being physically done to his mama or whatever, but that's trauma to hear someone screaming and yelling and crying, and sometimes kids normalize that as normal. That's crazy.
It sound like things are being thrown. It was just a mess. So, I would ask Drew sometimes, to intervene, go in there, break it up. And, he would step out, the room and, talk to him, and he'll come back in and say, okay, he said he ain't gonna, he gonna stop and he ain't gonna hit her no more. But he continued to do it. And so much so to the last final straw when he put his hand on her. We was all in the living room watching TV. She had just went through his phone and seen that he was texting and having relations with another girl. And she confronted him about it while we were all sitting right there. He got extremely upset. Of course, you can about imagine defensive. And he jumped up, started getting in her face. And then from there, he mushed her. And then he started pounding on her like she was, a sack of potatoes. And I'll never forget, that girl got up. Because I grabbed Drew. Again, I pregnant with Dre. I snatched Drew Noonan. I snatched him up, put him, my arm, and I'm trying to head to our room, and I'm screaming at their dad, break it up, and he looking like,
He ain't trying to be a part of that. I don't blame him. She gonna go back, and when she go back to him, what? How much times can you break something up? Alright, stop, chill. Alright, chill. That's exhausting to him. Your man's like, no. What do you want him to? You want him to get beat too? He gonna get beat because the person is angry, and then he gonna have to snap, and then shit happen.
And so she goes in the kitchen. She get a knife. She charged at him. When I tell y'all, it took my boy's daddy Drew, because his name was Drew as well. So if you hear me saying Drew, that's who I'm talking about. But it took Drew 10 seconds to pry that knife out that girl's hand. She was at him for blood. So nevertheless,
well, she made her snap. You keep beating on her. She's gonna snap, bro. She snapped. Bro. And then now you embarrassing her in front of people? Yeah, I'm blaming her.
After that, the police was called. And from there, the police returned back to their home every day, coming there to arrest him. Number one, it was done in front of children. He assaulted her, number one, in front of children. Number two, she was pregnant. Number three, she was his wife. So it was domestic. So he called Drew and hey, man, I ain't gonna be able to live there no more. Police keep coming there every day. I'm bound to go to jail. Woo. So we just decided to move back home, which I was homesick anyway. So Drew ended up going back to his parents' house. I ended up going back to Bourne Homes to my mom's house. Well, not too long after I returned home, Drew ended up moving out of his parents' house to Bourne Homes with me and my family, and again, we in a 5-bedroom, so it was just enough space, because at that time I had gave birth to Andre, so we're in 2004 now. At this point, I had gave birth to Andre, and so we making it do what it do. It's tight, but we making it do what it do. Okay, so when I moved back home in January of 2024. Again, like I said, Drew came a few weeks after that, and now all of us are there. Baby, that's truly when the neighbors got saucy. Now, Drew, was the only child. He was his mom and his dad only child. So he was spoiled. He was extremely nice looking. He was like that guy that just could get girls just off of walking into a room. So you can about imagine him moving over there to the projects. He wasn't from there. He was, grew up.
Girl, girls just like men. Especially he fresh to death. And a man that loves love their girl, like if a woman sees a man that loves their girl doing right, taking care of their children, that's the ones they go after the most. I'm telling you, they just want to feel that they can take your man.
Well, almost in the suburbs, to say the least. So he gets over there and he is like fresh meat on the block. I mean, the neighbors, he get out the car, they like, So just so happened that neighbor to the right, Sticky Finger, he lived there with his mom who had quite a few children as well. And he had this one sister who thought she was God gift to men. When I tell you, Miss Thine will walk, she had to walk on her, honey, you'll be thinking to yourself like, she must got some good down there the way she walking. And I had been hearing little rumors and stuff like that she was like, saying, like, oh, he fine, like, what he doing with her, and I'm gonna take him from her, and just little stuff people were coming back telling me that she was saying. So I already had my third eye.
Girls are so stupid. Like, what he doing with her? He like her. That's why y'all have 2 babies with her, and she's pretty. So, like, people always hate on people. You gonna take him to do what? You take him in what? Like, women.
On her. You know what I'm saying? She would be walking up and down the sidewalk, like me and him sitting outside or whatever. She walking up and down the sidewalk, throwing trash away 5 times within 30 minutes with some short song, ass cheeks hanging out. So I could tell my girl was extremely thirsty. Speaking of thirsty, hold on. But yeah, I could tell my girl was extremely thirsty for his attention. So I would just, again, I stayed to myself. I'm Drew working. I'm going to school, coming home, keeping my children, trying to maintain staying out the way. Well, that will be short-lived because obviously, again, we're in the hood. We're in the projects. We're in Born Home. Ain't no staying to yourself. Ain't no minding your business. Ain't no staying out the way. It was none of that. So we get a neighbor to move across the street from us. And I say across the street, but actually she moved across the field. And I'm not going to say her name. I'm just going to call her the neighbor from hell. And when I tell you everything about this lady screamed trouble from the moment her and her children moved over there, it was. So I had heard about her just off of hearsay. Again, it's the hood people, the gossip people talk. She had moved from the projects, some more projects that was down the street from Born Home. So she already, had a reputation on the west side. I'm not sure. And I knew her son because I went to school with her. I went to middle school with her son. So when I saw her son, I recognized him immediately. But I did not know her or any of the other siblings. I just only knew her oldest son, which he was pretty cool. He didn't bother me, kind of stayed out the way. Baby, he was the total opposite from his mama. So she moves out there, and when she first comes, she move out her stuff. She pull up in the Crown Vic, unload the whole car, children everywhere, boxes, mattress, you name it. Like, she literally moved her whole family in that Crown Vic. Well, a couple of weeks into her moving over there, she gets into it with another neighbor over there. I'm asleep. I hear a bunch of commotion. Normally, like I say, y'all, every time something happens, I'm asleep. Remember, I'm asleep. I hear a bunch of commotion. I look out the window. I see like 2 objects in the middle of the field. They look like they squabbling. I hear a little something. I go in there and tell my mom, like, hey, look like they out there fighting. But I go lay back down. The next day, I hear all the details. She done bust, the neighbor from hell. She done took a bottle and she done cracked it on the head of this other neighbor. I'm saying that the neighbor owed her some money. She said,
dang, sis, you just moved in. Dang, all that.
She sold the neighbor some drugs. The neighbor didn't pay her, and she busted laid upside the head. Now that is truly the first time I got like a whiff in, you know, a wind of the type of person that she was. Baby, it gets 50 times worse. When I tell y'all worse, stay tuned for part 4, Neighbor from Hell.
Alright, so I'm gonna cut it here. Don't worry, I'm gonna be doing the second part. Like, I'll probably do it back to back. I'll probably put like 2 videos out today, or probably a video today and the video tomorrow, because I'm really bad with part 2s. But this baby, I needs to finish, okay? I always leave the person's information here or in the description bar. If the person comes up to me and say, hey girl, I don't want you sharing the video, I will take it down like I always say, because I don't care. Okay, so stay tuned for part 2. And thank you all for subscribing to me, and I'll see you guys later.